Welcome to the tavern.
I'm DMJ.
And I'm Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Today we're covering the Player's Handbook.
And for you Dungeon Masters, we'll be delving into a spell discussion today. To start us off today, we have a few special thanks. Wannabe Overwatch Pro became a recent subscriber. You can find him on Twitch TV. Thank you for the sub.
There we go. And of course, I want to put a shout out to my daughter, who's going to be running her 5th edition campaign with some people up in Colorado.
Sweet.
She's a little worried, but honey, I think you're going to do great. And if you watch the show, you'll pick up a few tips maybe too, huh?
There you go.
All right, man. On with the show. So, Ryan, from our last show in which we said, the rules are basically rules for homebrew and or to follow to play, I came up with a great character I want to run in your world next Sunday.
Uh-oh.
First level, he's got 99 strength, 150 intelligence. I got about 70 spells. Be ready to play that? No, huh?
Probably not. You see, Jay, that is why we have the books.
Okay.
So that we have balance.
We got some balance. Okay. I guess that'd be pretty powerful. But wait a minute. I can't wait to get to second level. Let me tell you about that, too.
Oh, boy.
No. Okay. What's in that book, then, that can help us?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Today we are going to be covering the Player's Handbook. We are going to go over some brief sections about what's in here, what as a new player you can expect to find, and hopefully get some takeaways from it. And we'll go over the Dungeon Master's Guide and Monster's Manual in another episode. But we want to keep it short for you guys. We don't want to expose all the secrets in the book, but we do want to give you an insight as to what to expect from the book and how to use it for your campaign and character building.
So if I want to be Darth Vader carrying a blaster,
No.
Let's get into this section. So I'm not just going to read out of the book or anything. We just want to skim over some sections that might be worthy and talking about, seeing as, hey, I'm going to shell out some money for this book to have the rules, and I want to know what's in it. I'm going to take down the first section is one of the biggest, which is character creations. And what can we find in that? Probably, Ryan.
So with character creation, when you're making a new identity for the game, as we kind of talked about last time, you are going to have a race. You're gonna pick from one of many mythical races. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Some new DMs probably want to stick to the races that are in here. There are additional ones that you can be found in other books, but we recommend if you're just starting off, look at the races in here. You've got your Lord of the Rings races. You've got your elves, your dwarves, humans obviously are in there, plus some more exotic ones like Dragonborn and Tieflings to choose from. In addition, once you pick your class, you get to pick your job.
Oh, okay. So if I want to be a fighter, let's say?
Correct.
Or I want to do some spells like the spells we're going to talk about later?
Absolutely.
Or if I want to be a holy person?
Absolutely.
Or how about if I want to be a holy fighter? What would that be?
Well, you can multi-class, and
Okay.
we can get into that a little bit.
Or paladin?
Or paladin, yeah.
Okay. So race does not dictate what class you can have to take, right? You can be one sort of race and one sort of class that picks out your fancy. Find one that seems right for you. I wouldn't try delving into it by reading what modifiers they're going to give you. Pick something you think you might like to play. And then pick a background, right? That's in here too.
Yeah, you don't want to be you're not just two identifiers, right? You're not just a race and a class, right? You came from somewhere. You have some kind of a background, some kind of history to your character that defines really who you are just as much as your job or your race might.
Okay. And then once we have that down, and that can be put on paper on a computer program, what sort of skills does this give you? The book tells you that too. That's the next section in the book. It also tells you the equipment that you might be able to pick from to use.
And if you're a fighter, that's probably your favorite section.
Yeah, and or vials or things of magical nature that maybe your DM would allow you to have.
Absolutely.
And then from there on, I have these numbers on my sheet. So what's that? Those are my ability scores, right?
That's correct.
So is that the next thing coming up, right?
So, yeah, as you go through the book, it talks a little bit about the ability scores in the beginning as you make your character, but it really dives into how to use those ability scores, which, define your character. Obviously, if you're a wizard and you use your intellect, you're going to have a higher intellect score than you will a strength score that you would expect to see on a fighter, right? These things kind of fall in place. They seem real intuitive.
Right, and that's all in the book here. Now, another section coming up is there have to be turns to make things fair within combat or movement of your character. Later on, you might get two chances to do one thing. Earlier on, you can only do one chance or a couple things only at a time. Cast one spell, then move. And when you get higher level, then you can do more things. Some fighters can attack more than once, let's say, right? And that's here in the book too, to give you how to handle those type of items and the rules and the guidelines that you, the player, as well as the DM, can follow to make everything kind of fair in the game.
Don't forget, death.
That's handled in here too.
In addition, you're also going to see magic, right, rules for being a wizard or any other spellcaster, right? It's not just wizards that cast spells. They have a variety of... In fact, most of the classes now can cast some type of magic as you read through those. And so you're going to find a section in here, how to use the magic, how the rules of magic work, how do you prepare your spells, how many spells do you get. All those things are located in the player's handbook.
Right. And to make it easy for all casters involved, whether it be from divine magic to arcane magic to whatever magic you're using, they're all put in alphabetical order. So if during the game you want to know the exact sectors or actions of the spell, you can access them quickly, and that gives you all the answers you need for your spells. Now, what else is included in the book? The very last bit they give you is an appendices that kind of covers things like what, deities?
Yeah, deities, various background and flavor options. I think there's some animals in the back.
Planes of existence.
Yep, planes.
And then the very, very back is an index to help you get to where you want to see. Now, I have a hard time seeing that. I don't know if I can...
I can read it just fine. It says subtle spell, sorcerer, see meta magic.
Show off. Gosh.
Perfect eyes.
Now that we've covered the sections, go ahead and pick up your own book, which can be purchased at your local bookstore, game store, or online, Amazon per se, and just delve into it yourself and see what catches your fancy and what you might like to get into or bring into your game.
Absolutely. There's a ton of options in there, but remember, the core of it comes from your imagination, not from what's printed on paper.
Very good. All right, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
I've been noticing, though, Ryan, that we've been covering a lot of things for beginning players. I've really wanted to also make this this channel about helping out DMs or just flavoring it for gameplay of people who are past the beginning player type thing, or maybe a DM that wants to find out some more information. So why don't we go into a spell focus section today, huh?
That sounds good to me. We can cover a particular spell.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh yeah, let me tell you what that is. Today's spell that I want to bring up is one I've been using even since way back in the old days. And it's basically called a silent spell. It's a second level illusionary type. It could be ran as a ritual. I think the casting time is 1 action. And how far is the range?
I think you can get up to 120 feet.
You can be that far away before you cast it onto the range of the spell doesn't go out to that. It takes a verbal and semantic component to do the spell. And do we have to keep a level of concentration, right? If you want to keep it up for 10 minutes?
That's right. So in 5th edition, you've got the concentration rules that are in the player's handbook, and you can concentrate on a particular spell, only one spell at a time, if I remember right.
Right.
And you can concentrate for up to 10 minutes.
Now that's part of the details of the spell. The one thing I want to talk about is that you can place this spell either on an item or a person's bodily item, let's say a belt buckle maybe, or a button, or you can place it on a pebble on the floor. And the spell states from a sphere is created from that point that has a radius from the center to 20 feet out. So actually from end to end, that would be what? I'm not good
40 feet?
Oh, 40 feet. Okay, yeah, 20 and 20. So what happens inside this sphere?
So inside the sphere, all players are completely deafened. You are immune to thunder damage. Anything that creates any kind of sound is just null and void. You're just in a big quiet bubble.
Okay. Drawbacks could be if somebody's shouting from you in.
Absolutely. You would be no communication if you're in there, right? A big tactic is to use this on enemy wizards. However, when you send your fighter in, you need to be able to have a way to tell him to get out when it's time.
Yeah. What's great was he's saying about wizards. Any spellcasters, most spellcasters, excuse me, not just any spellcaster, but most spellcasters know that it's usually a verbal component at the least to a spell. So that means even if you're, what, 4th, 5th level and you're using the spell, you can cast this on a wizard that could be 20th level, and if it is on his belt buckle, he would be silenced, correct?
That's absolutely right. This is one of those spells that just never loses its functionality.
And it's only a 2nd level spell to use, correct?
That's true.
So, along the immune to, what do you say, thunderwave damage and whatnot, any percussive damage that could be coming in that is sound related. Now, this doesn't handle smell.
That's true.
Or, as you said, any blade weapon or any other magic coming in that is created outside of the sphere, correct?
That's true. It does, however, prevent you from listening to Nickelback songs.
That could be good. Or bad.
Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, and if you enjoyed your stay, like, comment, subscribe, or if you'd like to get a shout out of your own name, put it in down below, because maybe we can give you a thank you.
Absolutely. Good luck on your next adventure, and we'll see you on the next
Tavern Talks. Ha!